We go. All righty. Thank you very much, everybody, for being here. And Sam, take it away.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, again for being here. First, I want to get started introducing myself. My name is Sam Scully. I am a member of Women in Drones. And what we're having here today is an interview because Women in Drones and InterDrone have gotten together in collaboration to have a summit. We're going to have a virtual summit in December. And we're doing the interview because we want to pair up companies with our job seekers who are going to be looking for career opportunities when we have this event in December, which the dates are December the 15th through the 17th. And I am just really excited that, Sahil, that you took time with your new opportunity, and you too, Bob, for making time for us. And Founce, you as well. Founce is going to conduct the interview. And we also have another member on board here, which is Desi. Desi does Women in Drones Career Connect. I'm sorry. She does Coffee Connect, all these connects. But yes, so Fonz, if you want to take it away and introduce yourself and start with our questions.
Sure. Thank you. My name is Founce Genese. And first off, I want to say thank you and welcome on behalf of Women in Drones and InterDrone through their Career Connect series. And I have a little, hold on. Did that fix it?
Go again.
Um, I heard an echo. Is that better?
Hmm.
Okay, there we go. Let me start again.
Edit that out.
That's a great thing. We can do that.
Good morning. My name is Founce Genese, and I'm here on behalf of Women in Drones and InterDrone as part of their Career Connect series. And we're here this morning with Bob Goldstein, founder and CEO, and Sahil Bajwani, Senior Management Advisor of US Nuclear. Thank you, gentlemen, for being here. It's a pleasure, and thank you for taking the time. Let's get right into it. Bob, I was able to look at your website, US Nuclear, really interesting stuff. And for the people that don't know what US Nuclear is about, can you give us a brief description on what you do?
Can you give me 1 second, friends? Let me just see what happened with Bob real quick.
Okay. And edit.
Mhm. So we also need to make sure that possibly they have co-host abilities. So if you can do that, Bounce, if you're running the show now.
Where is that?
So on their name under participants, you can click on their name. And you'll be able
Founce, I can do it. Let's see it. I
you
don't
can
know.
go on your
Oh,
site.
there it is.
Control. Okay.
So more.
So everybody should be able to be a co-host, and that way there's no hangups on that side, maybe.
Okay.
That could be,
So how do I make him a co-host?
maybe
Like,
Sam might be doing it on her end.
Oh, you're doing it on your end?
I don't think I have the ability anymore since I made you the
Okay.
let me, I can reclaim host and do it.
Okay, so found should be co-host, not
Okay.
host,
Okay.
and that might help a bit.
All right. So
And make sure to hit record again.
okay.
Sorry about that, guys.
No worries.
Really sorry about that.
That's okay. Did you hit record, Sam?
Not yet, not yet. Let me I do not see a co-host option.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna continue with making everybody else one.
And it looks like your recording is still on.
Oh, now
Okay.
it's recording again.
Okay, Found, since you were in control again, you were gonna have to make Bob and Sahil a host.
Oh, got it.
Mhm.
Oh, wait, that says make host. Should be co-host, correct?
Yes, co-host.
Yes.
I only have an option to make host.
Okay, so it's one or the other.
Okay. All right, let's pick up where we left off, I guess. As I was saying, Bob, I had a chance to check out your website, US Nuclear. Really interesting stuff. And for those of you that are listening in and don't know what US Nuclear is, can you give me a brief description?
Yes, so traditionally we're a manufacturer of radiation measurement devices. We would date back to the Manhattan Project, where the scientists were developing radioactivity and they didn't have any safety equipment. So we were one of the first radiation safety companies around. And more recently, we started to also offer chemical and biological sensors as well.
Really interesting. And how does that interact and relate to drones? I mean, sensor equipment, drones, how does that work?
Well, it's sort of a funny story. I was talking with a business advisor and he said, radiation measurement, that's pretty dull. Can't you liven that up a little bit? And so there's some thought, drones were just getting popular at the time. And I walked into a nearby drone store and went into partnership with the people running it. So, and it's pretty exciting for us. There's so many different reasons that you need to measure radioactivity or chemical substance up here, from polluting factories to, if a hospital were burning or whatever, there's a nuclear medicine department in the hospital. There's lots of other chemicals in the hospital. The mayor probably wants to know whether he should evacuate that part of town. Where is the plume of bad stuff in the air? Where is that going to land? So it's even though we don't think about radiation much, it's still important.
Understood. I have a medical background, so I completely understand what you're saying about the radiation and understanding where it's at. Interesting. It was an advisor that kind of told you about this, which now brings me to you, Sahil. You're the senior management advisor. Were you the advisor that told him about the drones, or is this you're coming later into the picture?
I actually definitely came later in the picture, but I do have a very solid UAV background. I've been a part of a UAV background for like 5 years, and I've always seen the value what drones could actually bring on the table. So I really always wanted to kind of be a part of this drone industry, and I started working with DSLR pros, selling enterprise drones to a lot of different vertical markets, from public safety, from renewable energy. And then I did join, Bob was kind enough to kind of give me an opportunity to join US Nuclear Corp, but I was with Bob for some time, and then I got another opportunity working with the startup Impossible Aerospace, which was actually making a long duration aircraft which could fly for 80 minutes, 90 minutes on one battery. So I've always been super fascinated about how drones could really make people's life simple. And radiation was always something out of my comfort zone. I was always kind of in a market of infrared imaging, thermal imaging and stuff like that. But it's really kind of fascinated for me to get back with Bob and really kind of focus on the whole radiation market, which I feel that not a lot of people are doing it.
That's interesting. We'll have to talk offline more about that.
Yeah.
But let me ask you guys, you have radiation, you have drones, and you're bringing these two almost seemingly unrelated items together. What does the company's growth look like, and what are the job prospects that you have coming? Because marrying these two together now has created a new industry. And so what are you guys looking forward for? Or what kind of job opportunities are coming up with US Nuclear?
Yeah, that's a great question, Farn. So there's wide varieties of jobs sector which we're trying to fill in within US Nuclear Corp. I think one of the main which we're trying to kind of actively looking for is UAV pilots who are qualified for like Part 107. But I think what we kind of looking for is people who really have experience flying drones with heavy payloads. So the payloads which we manufacture is anywhere between depending upon what the customer needs are, could fluctuate anywhere between 7 to 10 pounds or something 12 pounds, right? So if you're flying with such a heavy payload on a drone, the whole dynamic of flying just completely changes. So we really need people who have the experience and who have a lot of flying hours on the drone, but not really that, but we really need people who have those experience flying with such heavy payload.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And most of those job prospects would be where? In what area?
So that's a great question. So we are, our headquarters is located in Canoga Park,
Okay.
in LA. So again, the dynamic have changed a little bit after this whole COVID thing. So depending upon if depending upon how actively we getting the jobs and how actively we need to get the flight testing done, the job position could fluctuate anywhere between SoCal, or we also have another office in Ohio, so it all varies.
Right. Interesting. Well, nowadays, one of the things that I look at as a CEO myself, is the gender equation and hiring, qualified individuals and what have you. And Bob, how does that affect your company, U.S. Nuclear?
I think it's the same as everybody else. We work hard to be to have a balanced employees. And in California, there's a law that you must have at least one woman on your board as well, which we do.
Mhm.
And so I mean, with any of these jobs, it's the skill and the experience, and sales, it's of course the manner, but I think just have to make sure that you're looking at the person's fitness for the job and not their gender. Yeah.
Mm. So, quick question. What is the one thing that members should know about getting hired by your company?
I could answer that. So I think it's really important for the applicant to kind of do their due diligence, kind of really learn about the company itself, learn about the team, learn about the product, and really kind of see, if the skill set they have kind of relate to what we kind of looking for. We highly kind of believe in, hiring people with the skill set where we are kind of lagging right now, and just kind of fill in those, pieces of puzzles. But it's really crucial to be passionate about the industry in the first place, and then secondly, just learning about the team, knowing about the culture itself, and then kind of coming to us with having a full scope of information about the company itself. So that basically tells us how interested the applicant is actually in to get in the company.
With that being said, what are the key roles that you guys are currently missing and looking for?
That's a great question. So I could answer some of it. Maybe some of Bob could answer. So some of the key roles we are actively looking for, starting next year, of course, would be, we have wide varieties of account executive roles. In other words, BD, business development roles. We are looking for, people with CAD experience, CAD designers. As I mentioned previously, we're looking for Part 107 UAV pilots, which have experience with flying with heavy payloads, not just flying the drone, but again, having good expertise with flying with different payloads and stuff like that. Bob, do you want to add on to that?
Yes, so we're also looking for an electronic technician, both in Ohio and in Los Angeles. And we're looking for someone who's interested in MRP manufacturing, controls, and keeping track of the value of what we're building. So,
And when you say electronic technician, are we talking on a macro level or micro, where there are soldering circuit boards? Because that is a broad description.
right. So exactly. So this is a test and repair technician we're looking for. So they need to understand it on the component level.
Okay, so more specifically towards the drone versus the testing equipment, or both?
So the more for testing the radiation and chemical sensors.
Okay.
Of course, problems do come up with drones. They're electronic as well, but that's mostly with the sensor side of it.
Okay, excellent. So, gentlemen, each of you, in your own perspective, what is specifically one tip that you can provide women in our industry?
I can go ahead with that. I think one tip I would, and I've repeated this several times with Sam as well. I think networking is key during this, COVID times. As you could imagine, going on LinkedIn, applying for jobs. As you could imagine, there's so many people applying, going for the same, piece of the cake, I believe. But I think networking is the key. You gotta go out there. You gotta meet individuals, who have, achieved where you guys are trying to be. And believe it or not, people are always helpful. I was working with Impossible, and due to funding reasons, the Impossible actually did dissolve. But just because I had a good connections of people, and I knew people within the industry, that really kind of helped me to get my feedback in the door, and being employed again. So what I would say is definitely, maybe look for a mentor, or look for someone, who have, been doing what you want to do, and just kind of ask them, for help, and ask them what they have done to get where they are today.
You just hit on a key word in something that I tend to speak to people about in this industry is the mentorship. How would you go about seeking a mentor towards that would guide you towards U.S. nuclear? And I'd like each of you to answer that because I know you're both looking at it from a different perspective. Bob, if somebody was to look for a mentor and wants to come and work from U.S. nuclear, what kind of individual would they be looking for? What kind of route would they take?
So anyone who, it all starts with experience. I start with a resume, and I want to mention that, even if someone is still a student or whatever, they can put their projects that they've been doing in school, or their hobbies, or their volunteer projects on their resume, because the employer, as myself, I need to look at something that they've done before, and then when they come into the interview, I talk to them about their projects or their previous work or whatever, and try to see if they really understood what they were doing before, and if it's all about competence.
Mm-hmm. Sahil?
Yeah, I think I kind of agree with Bob. Me personally, friends, like I have never been hesitant to reach out for help. Because lot of times, people are hesitant to kind of go out and spread their hands and ask them for help. I'm completely opposite. I've been lucky in a way that that people are always willing to help. I always, I've worked with Bob. I anytime I had any issues, I never hesitate to kind of go to him and ask him for his advice, right? I think you look for mentorship in the people, in those people who have reached at a certain stage now where they get satisfaction by helping people. So I think it's really crucial to not be afraid, and going out, and even if it's LinkedIn, or if you see any owner of a company or something like that, just reach out, because you'll be surprised how many people are there to help. And that's what I could say. And of course, if anyone looking for any expertise or any information on how to get into drone industry, I'm available. If anyone reaches out to me, I'm more than happy to share how I was able to get into this field. So, and again, especially with these COVID times, we really need to kind of help each other out. We really need to just get out there.
Absolutely agreed. I know everybody here, anybody reaches out to Desi or Samantha, I mean, either way, we'd all be willing to help, which is the one great thing I find about the drone community. Another thing that you mentioned was showing a project, even for students to show their project, to show their work. Education is important. Yes, I agree. Education is important. However, it's the application of those skills, or maybe your self-education, applying those skills is what really matters. I have a background from the entertainment industry as well, and nobody really cares about your degree. It's the work that you show and that you're capable of doing. And so from what I understand from you gentlemen is that, yes, education is important. However, if you can show that you can apply your education, project, your past experiences, that would be a leg up in applying to a job at U.S. Nuclear. Would that be correct?
Absolutely, yes.
Definitely. And again, I just want to add something to it is, it's really not necessary that you have to, join a drone company to get exposure to the drone, industry.
So
You can go buy a decent drone up the market. And there are so many online, drone teaching academy like Drone Deploy, right? If you want to learn mapping, if you want to learn how the inspection on solar panels are being done, just pick up the technology and practice by yourself, and doing some projects on the side adds a lot of value as well. So there's a lot of things out there. It just, you just need to be a little bit self-motivated to kind of teach yourself a little bit too.
So I'm hearing a reoccurring theme: seek help, mentorship, self-starter, self-education, and experience. And if you don't have the experience, then educate yourself online through whatever means necessary. In fact, find yourself a virtual mentor via YouTube, or, in virtual conferences such as this. Okay, I think that should help a lot of people. So one last question. What is the hiring process right now in the age of COVID for U.S. Nuclear, if somebody wanted to apply today?
That's a great question. So, prior to COVID, we were definitely, meeting applicants one-on-one in our headquarters, but now everything is happening virtually. So how the process basically works, if we do have applicants, I would basically kind of screen their resume, and then I will have like an initial interview with myself, and then followed by that, we do have like a panel interview structure, which our applicant needs to kind of talk to, each of our team members, and we have like 6 or 7 team members, and have like a one-on-one 30 minutes interview with these guys. And then depending upon, what the role the applicant is applying for example, if it's like a business, a business development role, we do have a format where, the applicant needs to kind of, talk about one of the deals they have closed, and what are the challenges and, things they have kind of faced and stuff like that. When it comes to, applying for the Part 107 pilot, we kind of look at, how many flying hours they had in the past, and, what's their, time spent on the technology, has been in the past and stuff like that. So it really kind of depends what kind of role they're applying for, but everything is being done virtually over the Zoom, and it's working pretty well for us.
That's great. On the hiring aspect, do you guys use staffing companies or just direct hires?
Just direct hires.
Just direct hires. Okay, great. Well, gentlemen, I want to thank you guys so much for your time. Do you guys have any a last parting word about U.S. Nuclear or the industry, or how best for people to become involved?
Just get out there and do it.
And we're not going to tell Nike you said that at all.
Yeah, I was going to say, Bob, you sound like Nike, but you're right. And I just want to add, I am new to the drone world. And because I am new and getting into the industry, I've, aligned with Women in Drones. And this is just from January. And so it is an honor to be with them and to listen to you all about what one needs to do to have a great career. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Okay, gentlemen, hang on real quick. I'm going to stop the recording. Is that good? You guys good? Sam?
Yes.
Yeah.
While the operator is in a remote location, there's a person launching the drone at the remote site, and